Culture change, not easy. It's talked about a lot. It's the dream, right? To get your school to be a place where everybody feels emotionally safe and it's a great place, for learning. All of that is all well and good, but I'm going to be really honest with you. I have very rarely seen that done. Hello, my name is Mike Donahue, and I am the director of Value Up, motivational assembly program that goes into schools all across the country and talks about culture. We talk directly to kids, not about them or at them, but we talk to them, and we get a lot of good feedback. I have a lot of principals that really like our program, and they'll say stuff like this, like, Mike, the kids really liked your program. They liked the fact that you were real with them, and then they went home and told their parents, and they get a lot of good feedback from parents saying thank you. We've had that happen a lot. But one of the things they also say is that they want it to be more sustainable. And we do leave a book. We give the kids a Value Up book. Every student has the ability to either get a hard copy or a digital copy of that book. So we try to do things that make it sustainable. But what I've realized is that they want a culture change. What they really want is an assembly to change the culture, and that's just not going to happen. Here's why. There are three things that need to happen to have a culture actually change. Number one is the water level, the level of intrinsic value in each student has to come up. And I know that's a soft concept. Like it seems like, oh, well, that's really touchy-feely, that kind of thing. But honestly, self-esteem and self-worth drives a lot of their behavior. And so think about it. If you had a school full of kids that don't like themselves, they really don't like who they are, it's going to be really hard to get them motivated to learn, right? The second thing that needs to happen, and culture's not going to change if this doesn't happen, you have to target the negative social norms that are happening in the school. And instead of policing them, which a lot of schools do, right? They police the behavior. If bad behavior is coming up from a group of kids in the school, they'll go after those kids and try to police those kids. And I understand that. But probably the more proactive thing you can do is to recruit those kids. Because whoever's driving that social norm, if you just police them, they're going to go underground, and it's going to even get worse because those kids are going to become heroes in that subculture, because they defied the authorities. So to recruit those kids, to get them on your side is an incredible thing to do. It's hard, but you can do it. And the third thing that definitely needs to happen if you're going to change the culture is it can't be just a one department endeavor, right? These kids travel through multiple environments every day, through sports, different teachers, different, activities going on in the school. They travel throughout that school throughout the whole day. And so if one part of the school is really embracing Value Up and embracing a culture change, and another part's not, well, that's inconsistent, and inconsistency kills momentum. And so you've got to have those three things: a commitment to help all kids understand their values. That water level of value goes up in the school. The second thing is that you need to attack those social norms, know what they are, and find those kids that are driving them and recruit them onto a leadership position so they can be part of the solution to change it. And the third thing is an all-out school endeavor to make it happen. To hit all three of these dynamics, Value Up has started a culture building system. And I want you to look at this map here. It's a whole school initiative. You can see at the top of the circle, there's a Value Up all-day event. And that's usually the assembly, some breakout groups with staff, with students, student leaders, and also parents. And if you move over to the left there's a general staff training, which is a 9-course, 20 minutes each. It's not really long. It's 3 hours altogether, but it walks you through the three phases. And I'm going to kind of walk you through that in a minute here, but that's really important that every staff member, whether you're the janitor or you the head of the math department, it's really important that every staff member goes through that training so you have a greater perspective of what is to come and what it means to be a Value Up school. As you move around the circle, there's a Value Up impact team. And that is 3 or 4 teachers in the school that will be the impact team. They'll be the ones that do the heavy lifting with the Value Up stuff. They're going to be doing the surveys, kind of monitoring what's happening, making sure those 3 dynamics are alive and well. Like there's things happening to make those things in front of the whole school. Then there's the value up student lessons, and that's 10 lessons that you're going to put in front of the kids. And that really depends on the school, on how you're going to do that. Some schools have done it in health classes. Some people do it with their homeroom classes. But you got to figure out once a month that the kids are going to sit through a teaching. It's about 20 minutes long. And it takes that value up message and it puts it in front of them. And again, that's one of the things the principals have said to me. We would like to see this put in front of them every day. The assembly's great, but man, if we could just have something that's sustainable and keeps going throughout the year, that would be great. So that's the answer to that. We have 10 really good lessons. They get a poster every month put up in the school, a different poster that carries a theme. So every lesson has a theme to it. And it's really important that the school that embraces this culture building system walks that through. Then the next thing is the student-led impact team. So you have a staff impact team, but you need a student impact team. And that's going to be, depending on how the size of the school is, but 30, 40 kids in a leadership meeting once a month. And there's specific teachings for them as well. And it really comes down to culture change. Like we're going to help them identify some of the social norms and be the ones that are the change agents, because we know that culture doesn't change unless kids are involved changing it. And so that's a really important concept to get those kids into that leadership team. And then also the sports teams will be affected. I've realized that a lot of the negative social norms come out of sports teams, kids that have a lot of social equity. And if there's drama going on in the sports teams, it carries out into the school. So it's important that, coaches are involved in this as well. We have special training for them so they understand what a value up team is all about, because that's going to make a difference in the whole school culture. And then we have a parent class that we give you, digitally, so you can send that out to parents that maybe are struggling with connection with their kid, and gives them a little value up dynamic as well. And so these are really important things that you follow through with. Culture's not going to change unless the whole school's involved, and then there's multiple touches, right? There's multiple ways to put the message in front of those kids. Let's go back to the all staff training. There are 3 phases of the Value Up culture building staff training. I want you to see these phases. Phase number 1 is understanding. And there are 3 lessons that go with that phase. And again, they're only about 20 minutes long. I'm not going to take you long. There are surveys at the end that you can take, so we know that you did it, because we are going to actually require every staff member to go through this, because it's really important that you have a baseline understanding of what's happening with this program. So the first one is just understanding teenagers more, understanding who's walking in the room. I mean, teenagers go through exponential change physically, emotionally, and socially. And so the last lesson in that phase is one of my favorites. We really talk about the 2 governments, right? The 2 governments they have to please every single day. Because of social media, things have changed for kids as far as the consequences of not following certain social constructs. And so what happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if you didn't follow a social rule, that wasn't as big a deal as it is today, because of the mechanisms they have to publicly humiliate you. And so that's really worth talking about as much as we can, so we have a baseline understanding of what's going on. Phase 2 is the connection phase, where we talk about how to leverage those relationships to help those kids bridge over from maybe struggling in school, struggling with their own self-worth, to feeling like they belong somewhere. And so we break it down into 3 lessons. The first one is really understanding their value and maybe some of the messages they got from home and from life that made them not feel like they really do matter. The second teaching is we talk about bottles, cups, and bowls, where honestly, we just what is the capacity for them to take in information? It's not so much intellectual as it is emotional. And so we break that down a little bit. And then the third lesson in phase 2 is we talk about command respect versus demand respect, right? What kind of authority are you bringing into the room? And that'll make more sense as you go through that teaching. And it's really important that we have a commitment to want to connect to these kids on a relational basis, right? There's a quote that I've heard a million times, but I really like it because it works. It makes sense. Rules without relationship lead to rebellion. So if the kids don't feel like you really care about them, it's going to be really hard to motivate them to learn. And the third phase is the execution phase. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we help you harness the power of those kids. I really believe this, that in every school, there's incredible amounts of power already there. The kids are already using that power in a negative way, some of them. And so if we can harness that power, right? We don't have to create the power. We just have to harness that power. And so we go through, first of all, changing the social norms. We try to find out what they are, recruit kids to change them. That's really important. The second teaching in phase 3 is keep the cliques, right? Harness the power of those cliques. Like, we don't want to get rid of the cliques. You're not going to anyways, right? So really what you want to do is harness that power of those cliques. And then the third teaching is lasting impressions, right? Every day, kids are giving you impressions of what the culture is, how they treat each other, how they act. And when we start seeing positive impressions, we want to harness them. We want to put them in front of the student body. We want those impressions, those cultural norms to be up front, in front of all the negative stuff, and eventually replace those. So it's really important that you're committed to doing that. One of the greatest privileges of my life has been working with educators. I know this job isn't easy. I mean, these kids walk into that school with all kinds of baggage and things going on that you can't control, but you're supposed to manage it. And that's unfair to me. And I want to help you. I want to be part of the solution that brings a culture change into your school, or more health, and a place where kids feel safe. And so give me a call, 402-290-4723, or you can email me at miked@value-up.org. And we can tailor make a program for your school that's going to make sense to you guys. And I would love to chat with you. So give me a call. All right.